Illinois Shines Update 2024-2025 Challenges and Opportunities. I'm Tim Montague. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. I recently gave this talk at the Illinois Renewable Energy Conference, and I wanted to share it with my followers. If you're a solar installer, developer, asset owner, working in the Midwest, considering or working in Illinois, this will be of tremendous interest to you. And here in 2024, it's happy days, right? We've tripled the Illinois solar market since 2018, 2019 from around 250 megawatts a year to now 800 megawatts a year. This is just the DG market. So we're doing over a gigawatt of solar in Illinois. We're nipping at the heels of, some of the leaders in the country like New York and California. So Illinois is a top 5 DG solar market, and it's all because of our legislation known as the Climate and Equitable Jobs Act. But there are still many challenges. And you've heard the news. I'm going to talk about some of that, but it's a combination of things. It's kind of a perfect storm of interest rates. This is a complex market. There's a lot of competition. We had significant supply chain issues in the last couple of years. And of course, interconnection woes persist. We do have changes coming to net metering. We'll be talking about that. And then the specter of labor shortages. Now, here in Illinois, we have the program, it's known as Illinois Shines. We are going to be adding 10 gigawatts of solar by 2030. And there is a parallel universe known as Illinois Solar for All. I'm not going to be talking too much about Illinois Solar for All today, but reach out to me if you're curious about that program. That is the low and medium income program. And these are under the rubric of CEJA, as I mentioned, the Climate and Equitable Jobs Act. And then simultaneously, we have the IRA, right? The Inflation Reduction Act, which now gives us an ITC of up to 60% with adders for energy communities, low and moderate income communities, and domestic content of solar equipment. So these are all leading us to a very good market. And then, of course, we're riding this wave of technology adoption. Solar PV is the fastest growing source of new energy on the grid, bar none, nationwide. So that is the backdrop. Here's an example of that technology adoption curve, right? These lines, the yellow, green, and orange lines here are the cost of solar PV, which has come down, significantly in the last 10 years. We're now at $3 a watt for residential, $1.50 for commercial, and nipping at $1 a watt for utility scale solar. And then on the bar chart here is the amount of installed solar per year. 2023 was a banner year. We had 40 gigawatts. Look at that, 40,000 megawatts, 40 gigawatts of solar. Back in 2002, when the industry was just getting started, we were doing 1 megawatt a year. Okay. So we've 40,000 times that market now in 2024. And so in just 2020, in 22 years, the market has just exploded. I like to say the modern era of solar in the US started in 2010, and this covers that period. But 2024 looks like it's going to be a good year. We're going to do around 40 gigawatts. We've hit 20 gigawatts in the first half of the year. This is a one-pager from SEIA, the Solar Energy Industries Association. Thank you for all your great work. If you're not dialed into SEIA, check it out, Solar Energy Industries Association, and they create these fact sheets for each state, and this one was recently updated. We are 15th overall, but that's because of the utility markets being so big in states like Texas or North Carolina. So we have 3 gigawatts of solar installed now. We're expected to add 8.4 gigawatts in the next 5 years. That is a huge amount of growth, and we have almost 6,000 jobs in the state now. we're powering almost 500,000 homes in Illinois with solar. So this is all good. Now we have reached around 2% of our power grid from solar, so we have a long road ahead of us. This is what a solar cash flow looks like in Illinois. This is a project I was consulting on recently, and you know, we're looking at a 25-year ROI of $1.6 million on a project that is about $1 million. And so these cash flows have never been sweeter, and that is driving adoption from consumers and business owners. And you see here down in the bottom left the way it pencils out, right? The CapEx is $900,000. The ITC is $272,000. Maker's depreciation, $162,000. The smart inverter rebate, which is really in the commercial world why net metering going away, right? In Illinois, we're transitioning from net metering to net billing, but this smart inverter rebate really um, is a key factor that moderates that impact because you couldn't get full retail net metering if you were taking the smart inverter rebate anyway for the last several years. And then SREX, look at that baby. That's $300,000. So 30% of the project's value is being paid out in cash in the first 7 years. We pay 15 years of RECs in 7 years. So you're front loading those REC payments, and it's a very juicy apple. The net system cost is $68,500. So less than 1/10, right? And that leads to a payback period of like 4 years. And that is driving adoption. I want to thank my partner GreenLink Energy Solutions for giving me some vignettes on some recent projects of theirs. Here you see Rockford University. This is up in Rockford, Illinois, in the far northern part of the state. And 1 megawatt system, annual production, just over a million kilowatt hours a year, and 25-year savings of $5 million. I mean, this might be a $2.5 million project and $5 million in savings. So this really motivates owners, but look at those beautiful flush mounted rooftops, just a gorgeous project. Here we see another commercial project, Our Savior's Lutheran Church, also in the Rockford area, 259 kW system and $1.1 million in savings. Who doesn't want to save money? That's the thing. Everybody wants to save money, and that is driving solar adoption. I'm just going to give a couple more of these vignettes. Schultz Farms, 86 kW. So this is small commercial. Do a lot of ag solar in the state of Illinois, right? Our state is just covered with corn and beans. See a metal roof there? Solar is great on metal roofs. It's the lightest, cheapest rooftop solar you can do, period. And 25-year savings, $145,000. That's money that a farm owner, company owner can invest in other things like R&D, other facility upgrades, hiring, so many things. And then a residential project, 23 kW. This is large residential, and $86,000, over $86,000 in 25-year savings. This motivates consumers to buy. Now, as I mentioned, there are challenges, and they're non-trivial, right? Titan Solar and SunPower went bankrupt in 2024. There's been a slew of bankruptcies if you just Google that, right? And so you don't want to be one of those companies that gets out over their skis. And this is, these bankruptcies are due to a combination of factors, growing too fast, making poor decisions, losing control of your business are some of the reasons. And the solar industry is still a great industry. Okay. It's a fast growing industry. You have to be careful. You have to grow in a controlled manner and know what you're doing and stay on top of things. I help solar installers transition from residential and small commercial or light commercial to large C&I solar. So reach out to me, Tim Montague, Clean Power Hour. You can find me on LinkedIn. I love connecting with my listeners. So the Illinois market um, faced some of those similar challenges, right? We saw California was the leader in challenges, right? They instituted NEM 3.0, and that crushed residential solar by about 70%. They saw a 70% decline in residential solar. Simultaneously, though, that is driving a much higher attachment rate for storage. So storage is an opportunity. So anyway, in high interest rates, regulatory changes are coming, right? Net metering, as I mentioned, is transitioning to net billing, and that does impact the residential market. If you're long on residential, that's great. I'm all for that, but you should augment your business and get into commercial solar and grow that so you have two legs to stand on, not just that one leg, because when things get gnarly, right, the economy has turmoil in it because of things like interest rates. And, the Illinois market is complex. There's prevailing wage rules, there's equity eligible contractors and trainees in the mix here. You have to be sophisticated to be successful in Illinois. And I can help you find that network of professionals to drive your business forward. As I mentioned, we're looking at 800 megawatts a year. That is triple what it was just 5 years ago. And here's how it breaks down. We've got small DG in the upper right, around 18%, large DG, 18%. Traditional community solar, these are now 5 megawatt AC or 6.5 megawatt DC projects, 27%. Community driven solar at 4%. Public schools, 13%. And then equity eligible contractors have a huge carve out of 20% now. That is being underutilized because there just aren't enough equity eligible contractors. These are minority owned businesses, businesses that are um, owned by previously incarcerated individuals and the like. And that ecosystem is growing. Thank you to CEJA, which is funding incubators for these types of contractors. And it's just going to take a little while. So what will happen is some of that 20% will get sprinkled over these other categories that have higher demand. So this is just that same information in tabular data. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. If you want to get this slide deck, reach out to me, Tim Montague, on LinkedIn or my website, cleanpowerhour.com. Now, this is from the Illinois Shines website. This is a report on applications that have been processed since June. And, this just kind of gives you a signal of what aspects of the program are really being subscribed to. And you see small DG for sure, large DG is definitely happening. Um, Traditional community solar is happening, and then the others are not happening so much. So EEC and public schools are weak spots in the program, and it's just going to take some time. Public schools are adopting solar, but probably only, you know, 5% or less of districts have actually done solar yet. And, their decision-making process is very slow. You have the issue of old rooftops. And so it's just going to take some time. I would say if you're an installer, go after that work, but just pace yourself. Don't put too many eggs in that basket. And then there are developers that specialize in offering these districts PPAs. It's mostly a PPA world, right? Because they don't have the resources to buy solar many times. And so they're buying a PPA. So we have a fast growing market. It's a great market, right? But you have to be sophisticated. You have to have legal counsel who understands Illinois Shines inside and out. I recommend having internal legal counsel, a staff attorney, but you can also find very qualified third-party attorneys. I can help you find those people. And you have to embrace the labor and training rules and guidelines. That's just a fact of life. And be hungry for change and growth, right? This is a very dynamic industry. Some of the resources you should definitely know about: ISEA, the Illinois Solar and Storage Association. If you're not a member, please join the ISEA. The Joint Solar Parties, they're having an open house on October 9th. So check that out. And then SEIA, as I mentioned before, Solar Energy Industries Association. Volt Solar, great advocacy organization, joined by CCSA, Coalition for Community Solar Access. Ultimately, your employees and your network of colleagues are your greatest asset. I'm Tim Montague. I want to thank you for checking out my video today. My motto is let's grow solar and storage. And with that, have a wonderful day.